Hey everyone, Mortgage Nerd. I'm going to go through 3 refinancing myths that I hear all the time. They get under my skin. They bother me. First one is the one we're going to talk about today. And this is, I always hear people when they talk to the big banks and they come to me and they say, hey, I heard I could skip my first 2 payments on the mortgage by refinancing. You really think the bank is going to lose money or, let you skip your payments? Let's look at what really happens. Let's say you close on November 15th. Your November 15th to November 30th mortgage interest, let's say is $538, is going to be paid at closing. It's added onto your loan amount. That's normal. It's with everything. When you do a purchase, that's on there. Now, what normally happens is then January 1st of 2020, since right now we're in mid-November 2019, your first payment on January 1st is going to pay your interest for December. Remember, when you rent, you pay your rent in advance. So on the 1st, you're paying for that whole month. On a mortgage, you're paying your interest in arrears. So on January 1st, you're paying for the month that just passed. So if they say, hey, you get to skip 2 payments, really what they're saying is on February 1st, you're going to be paying your January interest because you already paid December and November at closing, so your first payment, February 1st, pays for January. Maybe that makes sense to you, but remember, what they're doing is they're putting this interest on your loan amount, so you're going to pay interest on that interest. It's only good in cases where you're short on cash and you're in a bind and maybe your car broke down, you needed a new AC, you needed a new roof, whatever. So refinancing and skipping a couple payments makes sense to you, but don't fall into this trap. Remember, we're going to talk about 3 myths. This is number 1 myth, the one that I hate the most because it's the most obvious, underhanded way of telling people things without really telling them the truth. Chances are these call center people at the big banks don't even know and they just read a script. Hey, you just give me 2 payments. So we're going to get into some more myths now. Stay tuned. Thanks, Mortgage Nerd.